Dave Manning was an offensive guard who the Associated Press selected a second-team All-American as a senior in 1973. He blocked for three of the most explosive offensive players in Aggie history: quarterback Tony Adams, running back Louie Giammona, and receiver Tom Forzani. The Aggies were 16-6 his 2 years in Logan and won the in-state Beehive Boot championship both seasons. He was an Aggie co-captain as a senior, and that year was awarded the Wayne Estes Memorial Award, honoring the most outstanding senior athlete.
When I got the call from the committee and said I was inducted, I was totally blown away, because I know the history of this university and the outstanding athletes that have come through. And man, I felt really proud. One of my teammates at Bakersfield College, he and I took several recruiting trips together. And, you know, I just got kind of tired of it. And I really admired the program that San Diego State had. And we had a lot of Bakersfield guys playing there, and even Bakersfield coach. I decided I'm done, and I'm going to sign with them. And I'm not kidding you, a week later, my good friend that I'd taken these recruiting trips with, Larry Bertolucci, called me and said, "Hey Dave, will you go with me on a recruiting trip to Utah State?" And they weren't recruiting me. I said, "They don't want me." And he goes, "Oh no, yeah." He said, "You know, they said you're welcome to come." I said, "Larry, you're not going to go there. You know you're going to San Diego State. It's just tell them, you know, you're not interested." Well, for some reason, I don't know why he didn't. And I came along with him. They introduced me to my host, which was Tony Adams. And our entertainment for the night was to, I think, go to, it was either Milbrandt's or Corrigan's trailer down on the island for a party. But yeah, I met some great guys. In fact, I think, you know, I was going to try to impress these guys, bring a little Bakersfield flair into this thing. Then I decided to eat some light bulbs, and I know that impressed the crazy man Dave Viella. So anyway, it was a neat experience. I really bonded with those guys. I could picture myself here, and you know, that night when I went to Lund Hall and laid my head down, and that crisp, clean air, and man, I could vision myself here. And so, I hadn't even talked football with the coaches yet. And so the following day, met with Coach Mills and had a good talk. And they actually showed interest in me. I didn't know if they brought me along just to try to get my buddy Larry here, to appease him. But they did show interest, and we had a good talk. And I said I was really interested in coming, so we went to the Spectrum. He puts up on the scoreboard, Dave Manning commits to Utah State, you know. And so I told him I think I want to come here. And by the time I left Logan, Utah, till I got home, word got out, and Don Coryell, the head coach at San Diego State, met me in my living room. So yeah, it's kind of a strange deal. But it was the best decision I made. And the difficulty was basically coming from my junior college, where we were predominantly ran the ball. You know, we might have thrown it like 10 times a game. And then, so we're in the Tony Adams era, and so he's tossing it all over the yard. And that was a difficult, because the techniques, you know, for pass blocking, of course, are way different than run blocking. And honestly, I wasn't that good at it. But I worked at it, and it took me a while, but I think I did all right. And then Kruger came in, and we did the SE offense, you know, power right, left, and that was what I was familiar with. You know, I think I was a pretty intelligent player. I didn't make a lot of mistakes. I was agile, definitely wasn't big. So you have to make up, you have to play smart. You know, if you're against you're going to play different against a guy that weighs 220 and a guy that weighs 300. And so you've got to have a repertoire of different techniques. And I think I was able to master that. Coming in, I really did not realize the importance of interstate rivalries. You know, I'm a guy from California, you know. I wasn't sure of this rivalry between Utah State and BYU or Utah. But it doesn't take too long to get the idea that, man, this is big stuff. So when we beat BYU twice, and then Tony throws up unbelievable numbers against Utah, and we beat them 44 to something 16 or something like that. Those were memorable. And then I think the other memorable thing was when we went to number 4 Texas. When Darrell Royal, who comes into your locker room and says he's never been in an opponent's locker room in his life, in his coaching history, and congratulated us, that's pretty impressive. I do remember winning the Wayne Estes Memorial Award. It was just like this, just a great honor. You know, you don't know why it happens. You know, life's about situation, circumstance. You know, I would just happen to be the guy there. You know, I know I wasn't the best athlete there, but I don't know. It's a team effort. You know, so any award that any individual gets, it represents the team, because without a good teammates, you know, the accolades aren't there. So, you know, I was appreciative, but I knew it wasn't just me. It was my team.